What's up, guys? This is Kyle with the Horror File coming back to you with another review. Appreciate you guys tuning in and checking out this series. This is my Video Nasties series. This is actually episode 4 that I'm reviewing today. And this movie is called The Last House on the Left. It is a 1972 flick. It is actually Wes Craven's directorial debut. It is a great flick. I wanted to, kind of throw out some stuff about it. I actually have more notes on some key points, not about the plot, but just kind of stuff that kind of reached out and grabbed me when I was researching a little bit about the movie. So like I said, this is Wes Craven's directorial debut. This movie starring David Hess, which I'm a huge fan of David Hess. He's the main actor in it. He's the main bad guy in this. He was actually in one of the other Video Nasties that I did review. It was House at the End of the Park. Or House at the Edge of the Park. Love David Hess. I've actually been watching more and more of his movies. I've really enjoyed him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. But this movie is an American exploitation horror movie. It's definitely an exploitation film. It had a lot of controversy when it came out. It was one of the Video Nasties that was banned. It's actually one of the more notable Video Nasties that was banned, one of the more popular ones. Like I said, this was Wes Craven's first film. Immediately got banned in the UK. It actually was banned in a lot of places. As far as not having a full release, a lot of places actually came out in and had a release, and it came out, but it was very, very cut. Still to this day, it's really hard to find a copy of this movie that's completely uncut. This movie had a lot of releases, had a lot of places that, or a lot of companies that released it. There's a couple of different versions of the film that was released that had some of the cut scenes in it, but it's very hard to find a fully uncut version of this movie. This movie, a little unknown fact about this movie probably is it was inspired by a 1960 Swedish film called The Virgin Spring. Don't really know much about that, but I guess Wes Craven was inspired to kind of make a movie somewhat like that. It was a major box office success back in 1972. It was actually filmed in 1971 in New York and Connecticut. David Hess being from New York, he's a very if you are familiar with David Hess's work, he looks like a straight New Yorker. It was filmed in New York and Connecticut. Huge box office success. I think it made over $3 million or something like that, and back then that's a lot of money. The soundtrack, a really cool, interesting fact I found about this when I was researching it. David Hess was also a music composer. The soundtrack was actually by Stephen Chapin and David Hess. They were actually, worked on the soundtrack together. Stephen Chapin was he did most of the soundtrack, but David Hess had a huge part in it as well, which was really cool. And like I was saying before, there's a lot of rare and lost scenes in this movie. There's a scene where the female who was with the all of the murderers and stuff, there's a lesbian sex scene with her and one of the people they capture. I think it was Mary, which was the main chick in the movie. There's also I'm trying not to spoil things. There's also a scene in the movie if you watch the version that I watched, Mary actually dies. This is an older movie, so spoilers are going to happen. Mary actually dies in the movie. But there's actually a version of the movie where Mary does not die. And if you've seen the remake, I've actually reviewed the remake over on Body Bags, which is another channel that I'm a part of. So check that out. I actually have a playlist on the main page of my YouTube channel that has all my Body Bags reviews, so check that out. I actually reviewed it a couple weeks ago. But in the remake, Mary doesn't die. So you just have to watch the remake. The remake, in my opinion, was an excellent remake, especially going back and rewatching the original. There was a lot of scenes where it was really on par, that they actually went in and, really cited from the original, a lot of the stuff. Now, yeah, there's certain things that are, a lot different, but it was pretty much on par for a remake. I really enjoyed it. There was actually a sequel made to this movie, and it was an unofficial sequel. It was by Mario Bava. It's called, I think the actual name of the movie, what Mario Bava called it, was Twitch of the Death Nerve. And then some other companies that released it called it The Last House on the Left Part 2. So yeah, getting a little bit about the plot. I told you there's a ton of stuff to kind of talk about with this movie. Get into the plot. You basically have these 4 people that are on the run. You get, well, 5, I believe. So you got David Hess, which is the main bad guy. You got his brother. You got there's a girl with them who you don't really know if they're really like the girl's like a couple of with the brother or what. She's just a girl with them. And then you got the brother. So yeah, there's 4. Or you got the son. So you got David Hess's son with them, who doesn't really want to be a part of it. He's actually drugged up on coke. Like David Hess pretty much makes him, or David Hess's character makes him stay on coke throughout the entire movie, so he can pretty much control him. He's a young kid. He doesn't want to have anything to do with it, but he's kind of dragged into it. You got his brother, David Hess's brother, and then you got the random girl who is pretty much having sex with everybody and like just there. She's kind of a crazy ass too. But you got them. They escape from prison. They're on the run. They've done a lot of bad things. One of them's like a child molester. The other one's like a lot of them are just serial killers. And the son, the son meets up with these 2 girls, Mary and her friend. Mary's actually at her friend's house, kind of visiting while her parents are kind of on vacation. And she has her parents' car, and she meets up with this guy out of the blue. They both meet up with this guy, which is the son of David Hess, the one that's all drugged up on cocaine. He says he has some weed for him. They want him to smoke some weed. So they go back to meet up with, go get the weed and stuff. End up running into, all the other characters, all the serial killers, all the crazy people that are escaped from prison. At this point, they can't let them go. They just pretty much capture them, take them off, and at this point, a bunch of really bad things start to happen. You got, David Hess's character. He's pretty much a rapist. He ends up raping Mary, which is the main girl. And then, the other girl, they both get stabbed. The main character, David Hess's character, his name's Krug, or Krug, Krug. He actually carves Krug into Mary's chest at one point. It's a pretty brutal scene where, she's being held down on the ground, and all the other characters are kind of holding her down, and David Hess, or Krug, is carving into her chest, like Krug right here, just carves it straight in, and it's like blood everywhere. And there's also another really bad rape scene where Krug, rapes Mary, and it's kind of a weird. I mean, if you watch the remake, it's very on par with. I mean, the original and the remake are pretty on par with each other with that. There's a couple scenes that are a little different. I mean, they do end up pretty much what the whole point of the story is. It's kind of like a rape revenge story in a way. Mary ends up getting shot. By Krug, by David Hess, after all the whole rape scene, after the carving of his name, and they end up, the killers and stuff, since they're out in the middle of nowhere, after all this happens, they end up at Mary's parents' house because they're just trying to get help. So Mary's parents don't know any of this went on. They let them into the house, and then they figure it all out. They're like, Mary's mom sneaks into their room while they're sleeping and looks through their clothes, and she kind of hears them through the wall talking about how they killed her daughter, and sees the clothes that are pretty much covered in blood. And so things start to happen at that point. The dad starts rigging the house up with all these kind of traps, and yeah, like just crazy stuff starts to happen. There's a really crazy scene. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't really care. This movie is like 40 years old. I'm just going to say it. Where Mary's mom is like trying to distract the brother, which is David Hess's or Krug's brother. Brings him outside and starts like giving him oral sex and like bites his dick off. I had to say this in my review because I thought it was so... It was such an awesome scene in the whole movie. I was so like stoked when it happened. I was like, because I hadn't seen this movie in years, and I forgot all about it. And like she just bites his dick off, and I was just like so stoked. I was like, finally, something horrible has happened to these people. But yeah, Last House on the Left. I would give this movie a solid. I mean, just about every David Hess movie I've ever seen, I've really, really enjoyed. House at the Edge of the Park. I've been recommended a couple other movies of his. I would give this movie a solid 9 out of 10. I really, really love this movie. I really would like to revisit this movie again one day. I feel like pretty much anybody that watches this movie will really like this movie. This movie is like definitely better than the remake. The original is definitely better than the remake, but the remake is up there too. I think I gave the remake like 7.5 out of 10 or something like that. It's got Aaron Paul in it. The guy that plays Krug is a great actor as well. He plays the part very well. And there's a little bit of difference, like in this movie, which is a really brutal scene that happens with David Hess's character Krug and his son toward the end. That was really surprising to me with the original, from because I didn't remember. There's a really brutal scene about that that's completely different than the remake. But yeah, check it out. Last House on the Left. Check out the remake too. If you like the movie, check out the remake. The remake's very good. I was very entertained by it. Definitely one of those ones I'll probably revisit again one day. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think about the series again. I say this at every video. I want to know if you guys like the series. I've gotten really positive reviews about the series. I really enjoy watching these video nasties. Most of them are very good movies. Have yet to see one that I really didn't like. I didn't really care too much for Island of Death, but it was still pretty awesome to watch. Like, subscribe to my page. Check out my other channel over at Body Bags, or it's a channel that I'm a part of, where there's a review. Basically the layout of Body Bags is there's a horror review every single day of the week. I do Tuesdays. You got Mood 616. He does Sundays. You got JP, which is Double Shot J. He does Wednesdays, I believe. You got Matt Cantor, who is You and Your Horror Movies. I believe Matt does Mondays, if I'm not mistaken. I'm probably wrong with that. And then you got a couple other people that do the reviews as well. So check everybody out. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. Until next time, peace out. See ya.